Can somebody take care of that kid? Can somebody get rid of that freaking little kid, Momonosuke? Really? Like, now you're laying on Nami's lap while she's blowing you? I hate that freaking kid. I hate him. Yes, you, Momonosuke. I hate you. So this chapter of One Piece, it felt a little bit like we had a lot of, how can I say, fodder characters in it. And I feel like last chapter and this chapter, that was something that Oda's been doing, is adding a lot of new characters in it. And, like, towards the end with the whole thing of the guy getting knocked out by a man named Catman or something, I felt as though we should have been introduced to these characters, because it really, like, lacks in importance, so to speak, with these characters when they do things. Like, for example, we don't even know who this guy is or anything, and he's beating people's asses. So it doesn't really, like, make a big deal when it comes to stuff like that. So that's one of the things that I haven't been really interested, because I feel as though once Oda does eventually make them more relevant and we see more of them and maybe some connections they may have with people we do know, then I'll care. But for the moment, I'm just not really into the whole thing with all these fodders that are being introduced. But I do want to say that a couple things I like is, first of all, Fujitorra, it's confirmed the blind guy is him, and big, you know, more than likely the end of this arc is going to end off with Marines attacking. It's going to be crazy. I can't wait. That's one of my favorite things that I love about One Piece too, when at the end of the arc the Marines start all showing up, and it's just going to be freaking crazy. I knew when Fujitorra told, or when the blind guy told Luffy in the bar, "You don't want to know who I am. Let's just keep it like that." I knew that shit was going to get deadly. And now that we know he's the new Admiral, I can't wait to see what his powers are. Well, we've seen a little glimpse of what he can do. He just whipped out a sword and made a freaking hole on the ground. So we know that he's a beast. We know it's going to be incredible. And hopefully we get a crazy battle at the end of this one with the Marines. You know, we got Admiral Fujitorra and the Straw Hats. It's going to be freaking crazy. Also, the CP-9, well, now it's the CP-0, I believe. Basically, the CP-0 is a new, the highest squad, I guess, and they were introduced in this one. And I feel as though we might have some sort of a cross with, because we've seen the CP-9, they're still alive. They were running from the government after basically they messed up. The government wanted their heads. So, you know, in particular, spanned them. So I could definitely see some sort of cross with, like, the CP-9 showing up at some given point. But it's interesting that we saw a CP-0. So would that mean that there's a CP-8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1? Or, you know, what's up with that? I'd imagine that if they're going to the strongest, CP-0, the strongest, maybe 1 through 8 were killed along with, you know, since 9 failed, maybe they said, you know, we don't need all this. We're just going to have 0, or they might get introduced later. But I'm really excited to see with that, because I love the CP9 arc and everything, and I know that if Oda does it right, this is going to be another freaking awesome bout with these people as well. And we got a lot of people, a lot of different people, new guys, old guys, powerful guys, strong guys, weak guys. We got a lot of people getting involved in this arc, and I just hope that Oda really takes his time with, like, showing us more of each character, because, like, for example, this chapter and the last chapter, we got a lot of new faces. You know, the last chapter we got Rebecca, so, you know, I just really hope we get to know more of these characters so that we can care about them, so we can feel like, you know, hype and excited for what they can do, because, you know, now we got the CP-0, we got Admiral Fujitorra, he's calling the Marines for reinforcements. I just really want Oda to make us care more about these new characters. That's all I ask. I care about Fujitorra already, but, like, some of these no-names that are introduced, these fighters and everything, like the Bartolomeo, something like that, I forget his name, like those pirates, I want them to get more of a spotlight so we can understand them more, because I feel as though right now he's just throwing a lot of characters and we're not knowing enough about them to care about them, so it's just making it a little stale in my opinion. But aside from that, shit is crazy. I can't wait to see what's happening with this ferry, with Zoro, because, like, there's a lot of comedy involved in all this seriousness as well. So Oda's knowing what he's doing as far as, like, he's mixing it up. It's not just all seriousness. We're also having comedy bits. And Sanji might get laid. That's the most important thing about this entire arc. Sanji might get it in with Dancer Violet. No, let me stop. But in all seriousness, like, I hope Sanji finally does, you know, get it in, because, god damn, man. Dancer Violet looks like she's all over him again in this chapter. We get another example of it. And it looks like Sanji might betray Nami and Robin, but unfortunately, I am pretty sure something's up with Dancer Violet. A few people speculated that might be Baby 5 without the mask, and it's possible, but I'm not exactly sure. It's definitely, I'm like 99% sure that she's gonna, you know, stab him in the back, so to speak, probably literally as well, and figuratively. And it's just a matter of when and where, because there's something is up. Separate Zoro, separate Sanji. You know, they got them all separated, and that right there, divide and conquer. So we definitely gotta wait and see when Dancer Violet is gonna make her move, because I'm pretty sure she's playing Sanji, which is very sad. But I hope at least he gets it in before she stabs him in the back. Just saying. And yeah, overall thoughts of this chapter, a bit slow with a lot of these no-name guys, but we did have a couple bits that I did enjoy and were very important, like the Cp-0, Admiral Fujitorra, and apparently this guy that's kicking ass all over the place, as well as a little bit more in the beginning of the chapter with Jesus Burgess. So we got a couple different things going on. Hopefully in the next couple chapters, these characters that are basically like new, we get a little more backstory on them, and maybe we get a little more on the whole CP force, because if we got CP-0, where I want to know, like, is there CP1 through 8? If so, what happened to them? There's a couple things, you know, I really want Oda to dive into. And Oda, while he likes to do things slow and sometimes it can affect it, it also gives a little more clarification, and I like that. So we need a little more clarification here on some of these no-names. And Momonosuke, there you go. That's what you get, buddy. But that's all I have for this review of this chapter. Let me know what you think, guys. When will Dancer Violet strike on Sanji, if she really will? Because I know some people might say, no, she's a good guy. You know, she's a good girl, but I think that she's going to strike. And also, Admiral Fujitorra, do you think they're going to be able to go up against him and take him out? Can Luffy stand up against an Admiral? Depending on his strength, we'll find out very soon. But I'm just excited, you know, see where it's going. And also, how pissed are you at Momonosuke? When is it going to stop? As always, people, have an awesome day.